Imagine you're meditating in a cabin in the woods, far from the world, with the only sound to bear are the birds singing in the distance, the swaying of the trees and the wind brushing against your skin. Take a big breath, slowly release it. Concentrate on the sensations. Your body is whispering its thoughts. Now, you have 10 days to translate those thoughts. It's your move.
Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoy that intro. And today's item is number 5. Spend 10 days in complete silence. And how I did that is through a Vipassana meditation course. I'll be breaking up this video in 5 parts. Part 1 is what is Vipassana meditation. Part 2, the guidelines you have to follow throughout the course. Part 3, how does my day look? Part 4, questions and answers. And part 5, my own reflection and experiences I can share with you guys. Stay tuned for the end because there's some juicy answers to the questions you guys came up with. And let's get started. What is Vipassana meditation? It's a gentle yet thorough technique of meditation that observes the mind and body, the sensations that's been lingering, and somehow you enhance those senses and you become more aware and awoken to them. The word Vipassana basically translates to special seeing. It is also a Buddhist term that translates to tranquility of the mind or mind calmness. Part 2, the guidelines you have to follow throughout the course. Easy enough, but it's 5 simple daily things you have to avoid, which is killing of any being, stealing, sexual misconduct, any intoxicants, and wrongful speech. Simple enough. Follow those throughout the 10 days and you'll be golden. Part 3, how does my day look? So you arrive to the lodge, you sign your name, and you hand in all forms of technology and any form of distraction that will limit you from maximizing your potential throughout the course. And this is also a guideline to follow. After that, you make yourself comfortable in the dorms, or in your case or somebody else's case, a room. It's always random depending where you are. For my case, I had a room with another guy but separated by a divider, so I just dropped off my things there, got comfortable, and then went back straight to the hall, and we waited instructions from there. Okay, so during the discussions in the hall, we are informed what to kind of expect, more so logistically, as it is a self-discovery journey and we have to experience the journey for ourselves. Silence is then in play, so the feeling I was getting was excitement and quite nervous. We are then separated into females and male dorms. So throughout the 10 days, you won't be seeing your partner or the girl you like, you fancy them day 0. So good news, you see them after the 10 days. Bad news is, it could be a good thing. You might get a bit of a break from your wife, but a girl you do like, you see her after. So just save all those sexual frustration. So the first 4 days you learn anapana, which is observing the natural breath. Not making it less or more, simply observing the natural breath. Like, it's so hard to concentrate sometimes. We have all these things that cloud our mind, is just noise and procrastination and these deep thoughts, and then we just go off into the distance for 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then we come back to that concentration, that singular concentration of the breath, which could last for 20 seconds. 10 seconds, and then you go off again, and then you keep trying, and the point of the exercise, you just keep trying until you build up the concentration, that decisive level of pure concentration, monk style concentration, to realize the simple breath, and then you can hold that train of thought longer without going off to the distance and thinking about other things. And that's the point, that's anapana. And then after day 4, we are then taught Vipassana. And then that's another step ahead, and then you continue training your mind, develop your mind, becoming sharper and more attentive and patient and observant, of course, towards the sensations that you're experiencing, the single breath, not less or more, just the breath of time that's coming through your body. Observe. All the meals are vegan, they're very delicious, you're in for a treat. On the fourth day, Vipassana is taught. Students learn how to observe objectively all sensations through their body, whatever they may be, without reacting to them. They watch emotions come and go. They watch pain come and go. They watch pleasure come and go. And not intelligently, but through our own experience, we realize that nothing is permanent. So hatred, passion, greed are not abstract anymore. By watching the physical sensations accompanying these emotions, and by understanding their impermanent nature, one can only start changing the habit of blind reaction. Between two poles of expression and suppression lies a third option, mere observation. And that is day 4. I'm not going to get into too much details with the remainder days ahead. That is for you guys to experience. Part 4 is questions and answers, and these first questions are from some of my friends. So Molly asked me, do you feel more loving kindness towards yourself and others? And I would say, yes, I do. What did you learn about yourself? Well, I've always had a very resilient type of moral character growing up, and I felt I was a little bit too positive sometimes regarding certain circumstances, and some people thought I was a little bit crazy, and I thought about it, but then I come to realization it's just how I am and how I perceive the world in a more positive mindset. And having that mindset being backed up by a teaching that's been going around for thousands of years was quite liberating for myself, as I get it. I get why they push these values. Well, don't push, they guide these values to have people in a more positive mental mindset. And happiness is the thing we all chase, right? And it's all starts in the mind. So work on that. People do work in their physical appearance and they neglect their spiritual and mental well-being. You've got to get those things together. A specific moment you wanted to give up, and if so, how did you overcome it? Well, there wasn't any moments where I wanted to give up, but there was definitely moments where I was bored out of my mind when I was sitting in my room before meditations, and I simply decided to entertain myself with nature, and it was quite entertaining. Just walking around the forest and looking at things how I don't normally look at things, and discovering that my senses have increased for the first few days. I feel like, have you ever seen like cats or like dogs or animals smelling things? I started feeling a bit like an animal. I started smelling things. Like I was walking in the forest and before I wasn't able to pick up these things, subtle, slight sensations through the air, but I started noticing I had enlightened my physical senses, and I was just smelling things. And yeah, that's how I got through the boredom. Decided to do it from the start to the end. There was no if, but, or maybe. It was 100% yes, all in, or you don't do it. So my advice to you guys is, when you're gonna do it, you're in it till the end. Okay, so those are all questions for Molly. Now we're getting into Josh. His first question is, since finishing, do you incorporate meditation in your life more? Well, the truth is I don't, but I do. Like, I don't set a time where I'll physically meditate in that stance, but when I'm out and about and I find myself in a situation of patience, like example, sitting on the bus or a train, I do close my eyes and meditate. I'm very mindful of those moments of time where I'm not doing anything, so I try to stay productive in a sense where it's either music or meditate. Next question is, coming out of it, did your mindset change? Well, my mindset didn't change for the worse. It definitely became better. It didn't change another direction. I'm still the same person, but with more experience and insight. Have your career ambitions changed upon taking the course? All I can say is they haven't changed, but I can add things to it. Certain values that I've learned through the Vipassana meditation is definitely going to be with me through life. Do you see yourself doing it again? Yes, I definitely do. Most importantly, I want to know if your view on technology has changed. Do you see it as a tool for success or a tool for entertainment? Well, that is a good question. I do find myself getting really immersed into technology, and I kind of lose my train of thought and get into deep procrastination if I'm not using it effectively. And this question relates to a few years ago. I did go off social media and sustained from all forms of technology for a number of years, and only to get onto it back in the recent years. I spent about 4 years with no technology, which was quite refreshing for me as I discovered my senses again, and my memory was I had a really good memory. I could remember a lot of digits and such. Now I pull out my phone for a simple math equation where you can do that in your head. We rely on our phone so much and we forget to think. These days I don't use it for entertainment. I don't have any consoles, games and such on my phone. I use it just as a tool, calling and such, and making YouTube videos for you guys. So it's definitely more of a tool for success than entertainment. That is all the questions from Josh, and we have one last question from Mitch. And who is Mitch? Mitch is a 7-time 10-day meditation veteran warrior. 70 days of complete silence. Can you just imagine the concentration this man has built, the patience he has developed? And now I have the pleasure, the pride, the privilege of stating the question he has given me today, which is only one particular question of desire. So let's get straight into it. And that question is, how many times did you think about sex? Wow. No number. I lost count. I don't have a number. If humankind have invented a number of lost counts, infinity looped, who knows? But anyway, that's all the questions for today from my friends. Now we have my own personal questions that's gonna get into more detail about the course and such. First, I gotta get that paper that just flew away. Be right back. So how much did the course cost? Well, I'm sure you're all interested to know the answer for that. So let's take into account there's 30 guys and 30 chicks. Can you imagine how much it would cost to feed that many people for 10 days of accommodation and all that taken into expense? The price is free. Yes, you heard it, folks, free. Can you imagine all those expenses you had to pay if it wasn't? Have given you the opportunity to learn at your fullest, and this is the purest version to teach such a practice. Vipassana meditation isn't a form of religion. It's a form of meditation to awaken your insight and sensations. It's like exercising. Somebody will go exercise their physical being. This is exercising your spiritual being, which is connected to your mental and physical being. These three things are all entwined, and you have to work on each thing. As you can see, people work on their physical being and they don't work on their mental being, so they're unhappy. And then you see people work on their mental being and their physical being's out of whack. And then their spiritual. It's all connected. So yeah, it's free, and the participants, as myself, we all are giving the chance to donate. But it's up to you if you want to. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. And to spread awareness of such, you can tell other people about the course, and you do have an option to become a server. A server is somebody who volunteers their time and helps preparation for the course, which is the preparation of food, of such, and cooking and such. So those people volunteer, and they have done the 10 days of meditation beforehand. And during the being a server, you're also participating in 10 days, but you can speak, so according to certain specific times, of course. But yeah, that's another way to give back, and you can give back at another time, so there's no hard feelings in the beginning. Who teaches the course? Well, these guys have been practicing meditation for a number of years, and it's so selfless and loving of them to give their time and dedication and motivation to others and spread the practice as they volunteer. Where is the course located? Well, the course is located all around the world. I'll put a map up right here. But for myself, I did it in Sunshine Coast, surrounded by bushland and rainforest. It's just beautiful. Okay, so part 5 is some reflection advice that I can give to you guys willing to listen and those who are thinking on doing the course. So I wrote a few dot points. Let's get straight into it. Mindful eating was one, like appreciation of food and time and chewing it like really carefully. As you start noticing the first few days, people they're hungry, they're just eating all their food, and you start noticing everybody's slowing down. Another dot point is there are not many situations where you're truly uninterrupted in complete solitude. You can have 30 people around you and will be not interacting whatsoever. Nobody makes eye contact. We walk past each other ignoring the sensations. We would have that urge to look up at somebody. No, we avoid doing that. So you've seen some of my videos, I'm always interacting with people, giving them high fives and just saying hello, and that was quite hard for me. I was just really holding back from doing so. So we react to cravings. No more cravings, right? So cravings. During meditation, in that position, sitting still for so many hours, I had itches everywhere. I'm not gonna lie, I needed to scratch. And yeah, I did scratch for the first few days, and then I started noticing you don't scratch. So you simply don't react because it's not permanent. It comes and then it goes. And it's amazing when you experience and go through that. And you have all this noise in your head. It clouds your mind. It's not permanent. It comes and goes. Nothing is permanent. The relief of hatred for somebody who's coming out of a bad place, it's definitely good to get into this course, as it's not a religion, it's more of a mindset, and that mindset building is very important. And the relief of hatred and all those other desires of such is definitely beneficial for yourself. So when one generates cravings or aversions, one loses the peace of mind. So example, if somebody insults you and you fight back in such a way, you're going down to their level. You know, you heard that saying, you can go from a psychological standpoint and observe them in a different light, and you can see they're in pain and they're reflecting their own values upon the world, and that's a reflection of their own character, not yours. So you guys are thinking about doing the course, don't look too much into it. Like in this video, I did give you some vague points what to expect. Expect the unexpected, and that's when you'll be gifted with such a reward, as everybody's journey is different. Your journey could be different to mine and mine to yours. If you look too much into it, you'll overcloud your mind. You won't be able to learn as much, as you're trying to do this, trying to do that. You're just jumping too many steps ahead. Go in for the surprise and you'll be benefited with such a rewarding outcome. And for the record, I didn't do any meditation in the past. I have done meditation as such on the acts of walking somewhere. I'll be in deep thought, sitting in the bus or a train or waiting for something for many hours to end. I developed patience, and I had that value of patience before I went into the course, so 10 days wasn't too bad for me. But actively sitting in that stance, meditating without speaking, yes, that is a new experience for me, and I have no regrets. So it's definitely an awakening experience towards certain senses regarding primal instincts. As I did mention in this video that I caught myself at times smelling things, like, you know, cats like to smell things and dogs and such. I was doing that. I was actively partaking, going out, smelling nature, or more presence, my physical senses. True happiness, health, and spiritual enlightenment, as I said before, it's all connected, and you have to work this as a balance. You know, yin and yang. It's not work on one, neglect the other. Don't take my word for it, guys. Do it for yourself, experience for yourself, and I love to hear from you. You know, give me a message and how you went. I'll love to hear it. We can catch up and discuss more. Be completely open and honest towards it, and that will guide you to the best meditation of your life. All connected, mind, body, and soul. Many of us think that they are separated, and we train on one thing and neglect the other. As I was saying before, it's all connected, and it's so important to train everything as a yin and yang, as balance. And a lot of us get clouded by society's judgment of things. Our ego clouds its illusion towards true happiness, and you know, we see it in the media. They must be happy. They have this, they have that. They must be so happy. And we're grounded and hammered since as a kid that without this thing, happiness will never come to us. But the truth is, happiness is already in here. It's up to you guys to unlock it. Don't let a corporation of this marketing campaign pushing some kind of thing, object, or destination trick you from real happiness. If you let them trick you, and that illusion will cloud your judgment of time, it only means that you're only going to wait that time out until you get to the destination of happiness, meaning you'll be happy when you graduate, example, university. So happiness throughout the journey is redundant. Happiness will come when you finish. But the truth is, happiness is now, the present, the moment of time itself is happiness. It's not finishing something at the end, you'll be happy. You're happy now, then when you finish it, you'll be happy as well. Regardless, you just completed that goal. That's how happiness should be looked at and viewed. Like some young guys, I was a young guy myself. I'm still young, I can't remember. But we had this idea, like once I get this certain car, I'll be happy, I can impress all these people and such. But the truth is, no. You're just impressing other people. You're impressing other people for your own happiness, which is not good. You have to impress yourself to be happy. Happiness comes from you, it doesn't come from validation of others. So you get that item that makes you happy. But don't be tricked by mainstream media of society's projection of happiness. You have to have this and that. That's a trick, that's illusion, that's a corporation pushing for marketing and consumerism. You guys know it. So work on your spiritual health, the mental health, and physical health. It's all connected. Work on it. So negative thoughts. I've developed such a positive mindset over these years, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm no saint. I did lose myself to depression, anxiety, and the verge of suicide. But I switched all that around, and I developed an enlightened, positive, outgoing, unlimited, 100% myself mindset, and it's so amazing. I feel alive every freaking day. And to get to that point, it's up to you to take the step of seeking discomfort and the willingness to grow towards that positive mindset. And you got to take those steps. And sometimes you just got to jump, and when you do, it is so amazing. Karma is perceived as you do something bad will happen to you at a later time. There's somebody sitting on the cloud up there watching for the perfect opportunity to get you back. And then something happens to you and somebody turns around. Yeah, that's karma. But the truth is, true karma is, example, in society, you stole money from a bank. 20 years, you never got caught. But karma already got you from the beginning, because you had the mindset to steal. You had the mindset, a negative mindset, that you're not good enough, you need money. So you put yourself at such a low situation to steal money from the bank. Then karma got you already, because that mindset, the happiness, remember what I said, happiness is all connected. So once you're already at that low point, you're not good enough. Self-validation of others, you need to be up to society standards of happiness. You need to have this item, this car, this house, this thing then you're conforming to society's standard of happiness. True happiness is without those things. Forget about consumerism. Forget about all the propaganda you see that's being shoved down our throats at such a young age. And that's karma. It's the perception or reality of the mind not knowing that doing something bad is already a reflection of our own happiness. And karma already got you. And that is the definition I understood and how I can explain it to you guys. Okay, so it's been proven that spiritual practice can lead to decrease of mental stress and improve physical health, which is why it is so important to understand one's being, the emotions and negative thoughts you possess, and how to overcome that. When you do overcome this, you find yourself happier. So sitting positions, it's all depending on your circumstances. If you have lower back issues, you are granted a chair. For everybody else, we have mats. It's up to you how many mats you want to take. You can switch up your positions, cross legs, kneeling position, etc. It depends how comfortable you are, but it doesn't really matter how comfortable you are. You sit, endure, and you simply let the sensations pass as they are uncomfortable, but you endure it and it passes, and at the end of it all you are so grateful you didn't move and didn't react to those cravings, because that is the practice of it all. So this video was to describe and inform you guys on my Vipassana experience. I cannot teach you the technique itself, but show guidance and encourage those wanting to participate in the 10-day long silence. And I know it will be beneficial for you as it was for me. And those following along my journey for 28 items on my list, being this number 5, spending 10 days in silence, thank you so much. I can now mark it off my list and let's move on to the next one, alright? See you guys in the next one, and thank you again for watching and listening to this boring as video. But I hope it was somewhat informative and I was able to give you some knowledge towards that. Take care. Peace.